spring 2022, our product team was assigned to create Fairphone's first headphones. Fairphone is a market leader in sustainable electronics. They believe in a fair electronics industry, and for the last decades they have backed this conviction with their smartphones. And now they want to expand their story to other consumer electronics. Together with their manufacturer and audio engineering expert, Hansen, Fairphone was looking for a third party with experience in the European market to assist their in-house development team with the technical design and styling of the Fairbuds XL. Enter Studio Dot.
We specialize in balancing usability, styling and technology. As a design agency, we are used to ambiguity. In other words, we have a knack for figuring things out when they're fuzzy. The key is to trust the method. We start with a challenge, do our thing step by step and end up with a solution. It works every time, whether you apply it to headphones or a virtual museum.
We navigate our clients through this process, at each step giving them a clear set of curated options to discuss, challenge, mix up or pick, and in doing so, we facilitate their decision-making process while offering them a fresh take on their challenges.
When we joined, Fairphone had already picked a non-modular model from Hansen that met their audio requirements. Our job was to modify it into a modular design and style it to match the Fairphone brand, especially the Fairphone 4.
The schedule was tight, to say the least. We had exactly a month to complete both the technical overhaul and the visual design. And knowing that our production partner Hansen also faced tight timelines, trying out entirely new technical approaches that would require extensive testing and prototyping were off the table. So we took a deep dive into the headphone market and studied all the existing systems out there. And by mixing and matching solutions, we could quickly come up with a reference configuration. By starting with this reference configuration, we could make key decisions and come up with modular options for the Fairbuds XL in no time. We also showed what each of these choices might mean in terms of size and design. While facilitating the decision-making process, we also bring our own perspective to the table. We have a rule at Studio Dot. If we're not feeling it, we're not showing it. We do filter options, give advice, and nudge the team if we think something is spot on, but in the end, Fairphone has the last word, because after all, it's their project.
Design is all about iteration. We start by drawing the big picture and then zoom into the finer details. First, we talk about things like the general shape of the earpiece. Will it be a single or multiple volumes? How do we route the cable? Will the headphones fold and how? And we end up talking about the rounds on the edges and the placement of split lines. The trick here is to always keep the whole system in mind while getting into the nitty-gritty. That's how we make sure that everything, from how it works to how it looks, clicks together perfectly in the end.
We hit an interesting friction point when trying to get the shape of the housing from the design to the production phase. Upon closer evaluation, Hansen felt our design wouldn't work and suggested scrapping the chosen styling altogether. Now, we're not engineers, but we know enough to push back when we get a flat no. We'll always ask for the reasons behind the limitation so we can see what's possible. And yes, we know, theoretically anything is possible, but that's not what we're asking for. We are looking for an ideal balance between styling, functionality and production capabilities. It is not about getting your way, it's about the conversation. And that means from time to time we have to kill our darlings. We firstly opted for the idea of concealing the USB-C head inside the ear cups. Through careful consideration about form and functionality, we chose to make it a visible design feature. This decision, integral to our modular design philosophy, was about embracing and showcasing the modular approach.
When we were out on the ticket design-wise and all parties agreed on the shape and the features of the headphones, we shifted our attention to finalizing the colors, materials and finishes so Hansen could start making samples for Fairphone's review. From the start, it was the idea to particularly match the headphones to the Fairphone 4, so green was the obvious choice. And to keep things classic, we also went for a black version. We added extra depth by playing around with textures like the bigger grain on the outside of the headband and the finer one on the inside and on the cushions. And to further tie it to the color scheme of the Fairphone 4, we also incorporated the speckle and the orange accents. The black version, while being the more traditional one, also has those unique Fairphone touches like speckles and a green colored joystick. In our initial CMF proposal, the vegan leather and the plastic parts closely matched each other. Now, a new monochrome product looks nice, but the Fairbuds XL are in for the long run. With different materials, there would be a risk of the colors not aging the same way. Embracing this, we opted for a refined variation, with the vegan leather being a suddenly darker shade of green. The credit to get the CMF on point goes to the Fairphone team, by the way. We drew up the preliminary CMF document, but they tweaked it to perfection and saw it through samples and production.
So, here we have the final beauties. To get to the battery, just pop off the cover. When you unfold the headband like this, there's a lever you can access to release the headband base. But remember to disconnect the USB-C cable first. Changing the cable is simple too. Just peel back the headband cover and there it is. And if you have a screwdriver lying around, there is no need for the disassembly fun to stop here. Spare parts can be found at the Fairphone webshop, by the way. When a design is locked in, that doesn't mean every production detail is set. Sorting those out involves talks about quantities, pricing, sourcing and timing, which in essence is a conversation between the client and the manufacturer. So finalizing the project was a joint effort between Fairphone and Hanson teams. But even though we weren't on top of the project anymore, we were still kept in the loop to help guard the design intent, which, to be honest, isn't always given and was something we really appreciated.
We're a team that thrives on innovation and working together, and we love being part of the Fairbuds XL journey, contributing to a product that aligns with our values and pushes the boundaries in the industry.